It's such a beautiful day here today. Look how blue the ocean is. You can't see the very top of the peak of Mount Teide in Tenerife, but you can see the base of it. It's covered in cloud at the moment, the top of it, but it's such a beautiful day.
So these are the crop circles that we're talking about and making the compost. Now, the best thing that I can think of doing here in relation to all of this cactus is to chop it up as much as we can. So I kind of left it on there to weigh it down so that the compost in the bottom will start to generate a little bit quicker. But once you get it like this, you just go at it. And anybody can have a go. Doesn't matter, we can.
To watch that.
Funny to watch what?
You slashing and then you're like, anybody can have a go.
See, let me just root them. This is wild.
Isn't it?
And
Look
that
at
the other
that.
day it was just pulling forever.
Really?
We're not too bad this week. We have a volunteer. Came over to visit us from London, so the gyms in London seemingly are expensive, but she can work out here for sure.
With the necessity, exactly.
Yeah.
Never have to stop one day in your life because I'm telling you, my aim is horrendous.
We're just saying too how there's such a nice smell off of the cactus when you're chopping it up, which is one benefit, I guess. Give it a good slice.
Heavy. Got it. Do you mind this going out further?
No,
Or that it's built up more?
no, because it's all going to decompose into the centre of it. It's the weight in the centre of it that kind of works to its advantage. And if you layer it, well, we layer it. So that's why we've got all of this here, so that we can keep adding to it. It'll all decompose, and we'll keep putting the cactus onto the top of it, and we'll keep chopping it. And even over here, we've dug out an area just to put more wood into it, put more decomposing matter into it, raise up the ground a little bit. The soil is rich, but we think that this will make it even richer. Okay, now let's take a look. I have cleared this area here, but the plan is to get in there. You probably can't see it, but over here there's a beautiful palm tree, and there's another one here. I call this one the baby palm because it's the smallest one we have. So the cactus is gone, and I wanted to concentrate first on the cactus, and then next I'm going to sort of chop away at this cane. So let's go. I've knocked the camera down, whacked the camera a couple of times, so I left it down in a safe place down at the table, but I've decided to go and guess it again and show you this. This is the baby palm. Well, I call it the baby palm. Angela kind of wonders why I'm putting names on these palms, but I like it. So I'm almost at it now, and there's also this. I don't know what it is, but just to let you know, guys, we're not going to hack away at everything and dig everything up in its pack and in its wake. We're going to try and keep some of these little treasures. So I'd say it's a bulb. It's not flowering yet. There's another one of them behind me, and the reason why we're in here, there's another palm tree over there. That's the taller one of the two. I'm going to clear in here. I'm going to clear in here and leave this section here as a privacy screen and put a composting toilet in here.
This is just some more examples of how people were using it as a dumping ground here. There's just so much stuff, but at least we have a sink. Because this part is the closest to the road, people used to just chuck stuff down from the road, which is a little bit frustrating, but there you go. That's life. But to hear those wood pigeons, it's so beautiful.
This is another one of the palms that I've been working on. There's two of them here. There's this one and then there's the one that's behind there. That one has actually got some very nice growth going on around it. Well, the whole thing has got some beautiful growth going on around it, which is really, really cool. A lot of rocks up here then as well, but here, over here, I have a line going from the top where we know that the boundary is. So our boundary is kind of to here. So as you can see, lots to do. We seem to be saying that a lot, guys, but there is a lot. So up here, we're going to leave this kind of natural growth happening. And the palms, obviously, because they're protected, they're beautiful. Again, we've got some stuff there to contend with, but no problem. At the moment, I don't know what part of a car that is. It'd be kind of disappointing in a place like this where there's so much stuff after being dumped if you didn't have half of a car in it, wouldn't it? It always seems to be the case, but I don't know whether that's a door, part of a roof, or a bonnet, or what it is. But we'll find out. Another thing that I really like about this part of the land is the view. This is a photograph of the ambulance that I found on the internet when it was for sale many, many years ago. So I thought it was a kind of neat, so I kept it, and it looks fairly good there, nice and shiny. So I was sort of inspired to try to do a good job on it. This is part of the ambulance that we had a terrible, terrible problem with, was taking off the outer parts where the reflectors, they were extremely well stuck on. We couldn't figure out a way to do it. Now I know that people would say you can use heat, you can use a whole lot of different things, but we tried many, many ways of doing it, and the signage was fairly simple. So Angela is trying to get off the signage here, but these yellow and green stickers were unbelievably tough. The only way that I could figure out to do it was with a blade, and a really sharp blade, and be careful trying to get the sticker off And then after we got the sticker off, we had to contend with the glue. That was just as bad. It was just as tough. Sanders, all that sort of thing would clog with it. I tried acetone, I tried everything, and again it was down to taking the glue off with a special kind of a scraper that I had figured out would work well in taking it off. There was a lot of sanding involved, a lot of preparation involved, and a lot of taking off little parts that we didn't want on when we were painting it, but we really felt that it was worth it, and we're happy that we did this. So when we had all of that work done, we were finally ready to paint, and I concentrated on the roof, start at the top and work down kind of a theory, and I spray painted with a primer over the parts that were used for the strobe lights. Now, it's illegal to have the strobe lights on as much as I would have loved to. It would have been kind of cool to be able to drive down the road with the lights on, but they're emergency service vehicles, so whereas it would have been cool, it would have been illegal. But I left them there and just spray painted over it, just in case that they would reflect a little bit of light through if we were doing anything cool in the future. So I made a big mistake with the paint. When I went out to buy the paints that I asked them to mix was my fault, and it was wrong. And when I went to put it on, the colour just did nothing for me. It just didn't work at all. So I went back, I bought a new brand of paints that I had used before, and we loved it. It's an extremely good brand of paint. For this kind of job, it's probably not recommended, but it's an exterior job, and it's a good brand of paint, so I went with it. I put it on with a roller because I thought that it would be a costly operation for us to put this into a spray shop to get it painted up, so we chose to do it with a roller. As with every paint job, I feel you have to have everything ready, everything prepared, and the last thing that you do is paint. Now, it's a fast drying paint, so you have to be ready with it. It really disciplines you to get the job done, and I like that. So we gave it a first coat and then touched it up with brush, all that sort of thing, made sure that everything was covered and everything was okay, and then I gave it a second coat and the job was done.
We're closing off this week's video in Galdar Square, just having some lunch before I go back to London. Thanks a million for watching this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It means a lot.
And we'll catch you on the next one.